Okay, well, thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to be moderating questions throughout, so please leave any comments and questions on the Zoom chat and we'll address them. We're also live streaming to YouTube, so you can leave comments there too. If you have access to a smart TV, you can even relax and watch this on YouTube instead of on your machine if you like. The purpose of the session today is to review the typical customer journey that we go through within professional services and how we can use technology to make the handover between the stages as seamless as possible. So this is our agenda for today. We read a lot of Salesforce research as well as following the latest trends in sales and marketing and making those processes as efficient and data-led as possible. In their recent State of the Connected Customer report, Salesforce surveyed over 6,700 consumers and business buyers globally in order to determine the different factors influencing customers' expectations, the emerging technologies that are influencing the future of customer experience, and why brand trust is increasingly important and how companies can foster it. And if anybody's interested in this report and studying it in greater depth, we can share it with them. I'll run through a few headline stats in just a moment, but the key one is that 76% of customers now report that it is easier than ever to take their business elsewhere. And as disruptive companies leverage breakthroughs in cloud, mobile, AI, and social technology to deliver more personalized and immediate experiences, customers have more choices than ever, and as a result, have grown to expect this superior experience from any business with whom they engage. So I haven't got time to go through all the stats from this report, and neither is it particularly interesting to watch someone read off a set of stats. So I'm just going to pick out some highlights that are relevant to our discussion today. So customers expect connected journeys, and so the advice is to break down your business silos. 70% of customers say connected processes such as seamless handoffs or contextualized engagement based on earlier interactions are very important to winning their business. Customers expect personalization. The majority of customers say that being treated like a person rather than a number is very important to winning their business, and customers are twice as likely to view personalized offers as important versus unimportant. Customers expect innovation and will actively seek to buy from the most innovative companies. That is, those that are consistently introducing new products and services based on customer needs and new technology. And customers are nearly 10 times more likely to view AI as revolutionary versus insignificant. And we'll touch on some of the AI work that we're doing in the demo too. Finally, customers expect data protection, so make trust your priority. The majority of customers say they're more afraid of their data being compromised now than they were 2 years ago. And doing things the way you always have whilst trying to achieve some of the other factors we've discussed might no longer be fit for purpose. So our role at Comnexa is to help businesses optimize their business processes and utilize technology to make these efficient, measurable, and data-led. The primary technology we harness when improving processes is a CRM system because it's the central depository of information that we have about customers and gives any business the platform to operate their sales and marketing processes more efficiently. We've also demonstrated marketing automation tools, data reporting technology, and customer self-service portals in recent times. And so today we're going to be demonstrating the relationship between these various technologies and how they can be used at each stage of the customer journey. So this is how we're defining our customer journey at a very, very high level. And of course, there might be other stages that we could consider, such as KYC checks or quote building. But at a very high level, this is roughly the process that most of our businesses follow within sort of the very broad professional services umbrella that we're looking at. Although if you disagree or think there's other stages that are crucial and missing, so please let us know in the comments. But the process we're following very generally is find leads, nurture opportunities, close deals, onboard customers, and then provide some sort of customer service. So let me introduce our example, Lorem Ipsum Wealth, who do funds, trusts, and pensions. And we're going to discuss how their team work through the customer journey. So in this example, Dan is going to be playing the role of the marketing specialist and demonstrate how to find and nurture more leads. Rich is going to be playing the role of our pensions business development or sales lead and will work with Dan to nurture these leads and close deals. And Axel is playing a business executive and member of our board. He's concerned with how the business determines strategy and the overall progress of the business. So I am now going to hand over to Dan, who's going to kick off our live demo.
Thanks, Phil. So I'm Dan, and I am the marketing specialist at Lorem Ipsum. We're very lucky here that we've actually integrated all of our systems together. So we're using Salesforce Pardot, which is a marketing automation tool, and Salesforce CRM, and combining them together in one platform. So our marketing team are really busy throughout the year, running lots and lots and lots of different campaigns. So we are running events, we are running webinars, we're sponsoring events, we're sending out campaigns, we're really busy. So we're using the system to track each campaign that we're running and how much it costs, and then the results of the campaign. So if we look at a campaign, we can see the dates that it happened, who attended the campaign, and any opportunities that arose from the campaign. This is incredibly useful. So it allows anyone in our organization, not just marketing, but also business development or even customer service representatives, to view which marketing activity or which events people involved with our business have attended. So it's allowing people within our business to get a 360-degree view of the customer, which is incredibly, incredibly powerful. So this also allows us to track return on investment. So here we can see that there were 2 opportunities that arose from this campaign. This is really interesting. So before we introduced this system, it was very hard to track how successful our marketing has been or not. But now we can actually put a figure on it. And we can say that this campaign attributed to 660K of new business. So our team are very happy with this system. At the moment, you'll see in campaigns, we're currently running a pension campaign. So what we've done is on our website, we used to upload white papers and blogs and content, but people could read it basically for free. We're not asking people to pay for this content. However, we are capturing their details now, and we've integrated our website with Salesforce. This is incredibly powerful for us. So Jane here has filled out the form to download the white paper. Jane will then receive an email with the white paper when she fills out the form. This allows us to capture Jane's details in our CRM. However, it's also a little bit more intelligent than that. So as soon as Jane landed on our website, we placed a cookie on her browser. Obviously, she had to opt in to all the relevant opt-in procedures. She wasn't unaware that we're doing it. However, Jane actually visited our website 2 weeks ago, and she looked at the pensions page, but we didn't know who she was. We just know that an anonymous person visited the pension page. She's now returned today, and she's going to fill out this form for the white paper. As soon as she fills out the form for the white paper, our system is going to attribute all of her previous visits to her profile. So it allows us to build up a really good picture of what's going on and what Jane is actually interested in. So I'm going to submit the form, and then I'm going to flip back into our system. And I'm going to go to our prospect tab. Prospects are what our marketing team use for identifying individuals who are interested in our services. So as if by magic, we can see that Jane LeBrock has appeared in our prospect list. So if we go and open Jane LeBrock, you'll see that we have prospect activities first of all. Prospect activities gives us a complete view of everything that Jane's been doing. So if she had visited our website weeks before, we would see that. If she had visited our website and filled out a form, we would see that. She's filled out the form. If she then returns to the website in a week or two's time, we will also track that. And you'll see that we've assigned a score here. This is incredibly interesting. So here at Lorem Ipsum, we've defined using this system what we class as basically interesting developments. So we've decided that if somebody fills out the pension form to get the white paper, we're going to assign a score of 50. And this is completely flexible. So if Jane then goes back and she does something, we can add the score up. We've also set it so if Jane receives the white paper email and clicks on the link to actually view it, we'll add an additional score on. It gets a little bit more interesting than that as well. So if Jane had done things previously on our website, but we didn't know it was Jane, but if we then attributed all of her history to Jane, we can also retrospectively go back and assign the scores. Why is this interesting to us? It's very interesting to us because as a marketing department, we're marketing to thousands of people weekly. But this is allowing us to find the people who we believe are most interested in the services that our company has to offer. So it's letting us pass the relevant information to the business development team who can go ahead and use their time and resources focusing on the right people. It's also allowing us to send the right message to the right people at the right time. So because we know that Jane is interested in pensions, but is not yet a customer, that's really interesting. So we've integrated this system with Google AdWords. So we could, if we wanted to, display Google advertising to Jane when she's browsing other websites about our services. I think many of you have probably gone online to book a flight, haven't booked it, and then you've seen an advert somewhere promoting that flight. What we're doing is a very similar concept, but in a B2B model. So it's all very good. We've got Jane's details. We then set up an automated journey. So this allows our marketing team using drag and drop technology to basically create these journeys. You can literally drag and drop and it's completely interactive. So what is this telling us? So here the journey is starting and we're listening for somebody completing the form. Then we have a yes or no action. So we can say what happens if somebody completes the form and what happens if they don't. We then sending a follow-up email. So this is triggering the email to be sent if somebody has completed the form. We're then waiting and we're actually listening for something to happen. So if somebody clicks on a link in the email, a specific link, so we have links in our email also promoting our other services. If somebody clicks on that link, we can trigger a whole set of things to happen. Or if they don't, we could send them a follow-up email anyway. However, this is all completely interactive. So we can either add actions, we can listen for events, and this allows everyone in our marketing team, you don't have to be a data scientist to build these very integrated and intelligent campaigns. So we're using this for great success with all of our marketing activity. It's saving an awful lot of time and we're able to track the return on investment very, very accurately. However, this is all very well and good. So we have a lot of information about Jane. We know that Jane's interested. Because we're using a single platform of truth, we can automatically create a lead in Salesforce if a score goes above a certain level. So we've decided that if the score of this prospect is above 50, that we are going to create a lead in Salesforce. And a lead in Salesforce is the start of a sales journey. So essentially what this means is that we've created a lead in the CRM system. If we look at the lead in the CRM system, we can automatically see all of the marketing history because it's on a single platform, it all pulls in. And we can automatically see a visualization of all of the engagement that Jane's had over time. And most interesting, because we know that Jane is interested in a specific service, the system has automatically assigned my colleague, Richard Van Nest, as the owner. So he is the business development representative with the most knowledge about this product area. If Jane had visited the website weeks before and had looked at other services, our system is also intelligent enough to take a pragmatic approach. So it will assign the best owner for the job, essentially. So with that, I think I've demonstrated how we can use our system to find and identify prospects and very easily pass it over to the business development department. There's just one other thing I want to note, that we're also using this technology for onboarded customers. So we obviously know that if somebody completes the sales cycle, that they are a current client. We can then market, because it's on a single platform, we can pull all of this data out. So we know which products they have, we know which products they were maybe looking at and haven't purchased yet. And we can make sure that the content we're sending them is intelligent, it's tailored, so we're sending the right message to the right people at exactly the right time. And by using the system, we've tracked the results and they are very, very good. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Richard Van Nest, one of my colleagues, and he's going to talk through how we can have an integrated sales process.
Thank you very much, Dan. There we are. So yes, my name is Richard. I work in the pensions business development team at Lorem Ipsum. So what I would like to show you is the integration of Salesforce with Outlook and my process of onboarding and qualifying new clients and leads, and also the opportunities available in Salesforce through Chatter. So I log in the morning, open up Outlook, and I can see that this new lead, Jane LeBrock, as we discussed before, has been assigned to me, as Dan explained. And as a new lead in the business, what I'd like to do is to send Jane a courtesy email, a thank you email for her interest in our pensions products. So if I open up a new email, this is how Outlook integrates with Salesforce. I'm in Outlook on a Mac at the moment, but it could also be on a PC. And Salesforce also integrates with Gmail as well. So I know the name that I've seen has come through to me as a new lead is Jane LeBrock. I can type in Jane here. And already this is searching the Salesforce CRM system for Jane's details. So I can see Jane's details here, the fact that she came through from our website, and the date that she submitted the form and became a new lead. So I'm going to make sure that any email that I send to Jane is going to be logged on Salesforce as soon as I send the email here in Outlook. So I get a friendly reminder that as soon as this email is sent, it's going to be associated with the record on Salesforce. I'll call the subject for now, just thank you for your interest, so that we can see how this pulls through to Salesforce. Of course, for our regular clients, I'll provide a lot more detail in the email, in my courtesy email. So let's send that to Jane now. And then I'm going to follow a very quick link through to Salesforce to have a look at all of my leads that I'm managing at the moment. So if I go straight to my leads, and here is Jane LeBrock, our new lead. So let's take a look at Jane. And I can see here that the email that I've just sent has been pulled through and recorded against her record for future reference by me, or perhaps one of my colleagues whilst I'm on annual leave, if someone else needs to support Jane. As Dan mentioned, we can also see her engagement history, when she completed the online form, when she viewed it, and when she successfully completed the form. So a lead in Salesforce is really an unqualified potential business opportunity. And what we have in Salesforce is a number of customizable business steps. So I've already made the first step and I've contacted Jane. We can move this process forward and say, Jane has responded to us. She's interested in our pension products. And we would like to convert her into an actual opportunity that we're working with. So let's convert Jane now and see what that looks like. In the process of converting a lead, we create an account. And we know that when Jane submitted her details, she told us that she either works at LeBrock Law or perhaps she's the owner of that business. If Jane was a new contact, but working at one of our existing companies that we work with, we could add her to an account here. But in this case, it's a new account, it's a new contact, and a new opportunity as well. And in this case, we know that the Brock Law are potentially interested in our pension products. So we'll add that in here. The converted status is a qualified lead. So let's convert Jane now. So we get a helpful reminder from Salesforce that, yep, success, the lead's been converted. And in that process, we've created the LeBrock account with the associated contact and opportunity. What we could do is we could go straight into our opportunities to see what the business process looks like there. So having a look at opportunities here, I can see all of our opportunities at different stages of the business cycle. LeBrock Law Pensions is the one that we've just created. So let's go have a look at that. So here we can see again, the email has pulled through again because it's associated with this opportunity. And much like leads, again, we've got a number of customizable business steps in order to hopefully successfully complete this opportunity and close this business. So we go through the process and hopefully we successfully close this business and we can convert the opportunity to closed won. And at this stage, data will usually go to another client management system for continued support of this client. At Connector, actually, we have experience of using Nav1, Viewpoint, and 5 series in the finance sector, and practice management systems on the legal side. And by integrating with other systems such as these, we remove the necessity to input data a second time into those systems. So this opportunity is associated with the LeBrock Law account, which is a very new account. But as part of my day-to-day management of our clients, I want to check in on one of our more active accounts that we've been working with for some time, and that's the PEJ Family Office. And this can give you a sense of the kind of 360-degree overview that I can have in my role. So here I can see all of the contacts associated with the account. I can see all of the opportunities at various stages. And I can see cases or concerns or issues raised by our contacts there that I need to respond to and resolve. I can also see upcoming events, activities, and past historic activities here as well, from our first engagement with someone from the account to calls, emails, and upcoming meetings as well. So I've converted a lead into an opportunity and created a new account. I've reviewed one of our most active accounts. Now I'd like a reminder of what my other priorities are for the day. So I can return to my home page, which is fully customizable as well. I've chosen in my role that I want to have this dashboard, which gives me an oversight of our company's group pipeline. And for each month, I can see more data on the sum of the amount for each month. I can see the businesses that the opportunities that we've closed and won this financial year. Again, this dashboard is customizable, this chart is customizable, so we can set targets. We've broken down our opportunities by type and by stage. And again, by hovering over the chart, I can see some more information. We have our campaigns return on investment. So the campaign that Dan introduced with what we call the web to lead form, we've called our pensions white paper. So Jane, for instance, downloading the white paper was part of this campaign. And we can see so far that we've got a very healthy return on investment in this campaign. We've also broken down our referrals with the sum of the estimated value of these referrals by outbound referrals and inbound referrals. And I've also got a very simple summary of the number of team meetings and activities going on this month. I can get more of a detailed breakdown of my tasks and events here. So I have a task reminder to send an email and to reserve a meeting space today. And I have an upcoming meeting and phone call later today as well. One final thing that I've customized on my dashboard is to have this news component embedded. And this is generating or searching for news articles based on the accounts that we hold and also the types of business that we work with. So do we work with manufacturing companies? Do we work with trusts, pensions, retail? And it's pulling potentially useful news articles for me to review against those industries. The final part for me to get a sense of what's going on in the business today is to go to Chatter in Salesforce, which is very much like a social media type collaboration space with a news feed. And there's a number of different things that I can do in this space. So we can see that simple questions have been asked. So what are your first impressions of the new web to lead form that we demonstrated today? How is it working? And we can collaborate and communicate with colleagues across the business by tagging them in a post. We can also run simple polls. So I created a poll to ask, do we think that our clients are ready for in-person events in this current climate of COVID-19? And my colleague Dan has responded by reminding me of successful campaigns that we've recently had. He's tagged those for quick reference, but he doesn't think that now is quite the right time for in-person events. And I've asked for some recommendations on a space that I could hold one of our meetings today. And I can very quickly and easily tag references to accounts and individuals to ask questions. So that's everything from my side. I think at this point, I would like to hand over to our business executive at Lorem Ipsum.
Thank you, Rich. So one of the main things that I need to do as an executive is keep an eye out on how my team is progressing and the opportunities that they have, so that I can organize them and steer them in the right direction to maximize the use of resources. So when we're looking at this opportunities Kanban view, what I can see here is all of the opportunities by stage, and I can see a lot of these yellow warning signs. Now, these tell me that there are no activities or events that are upcoming linked to those opportunities. So I can gently nudge my team to get in touch or organize something to kind of keep the momentum going. Another thing that's quite useful in this view is that I can apply filters, and these filters can be anything that's related to an opportunity. This is all customizable, and the view can be set for each individual user. Another useful point here is that you can have charts to just give you a pictorial view of where everything is and how things are progressing. Now, aside from that, we've got dashboards, and these dashboards Rich showed us just before, but something I'd like to add on these is that behind each chart, you have a report. Within these reports, you have all of the information related to the chart. So here we can see all of the opportunities by stage, who's involved, what account is involved, how long it's been around, the probability of closing the business, and things like this. And this is all very helpful. In addition to this, there is a tool called Einstein Analytics, which is a very smart analytics tool which uses artificial intelligence and machine learning. That, in conjunction with a tool called Einstein Activity Capture, which automatically uploads activities set out in Outlook or in your Gmail calendar, gives you a very holistic view of your business and what your team is doing. So looking at the Einstein Analytics dashboards, what we can see here is all of our accounts by industry and by type, all of our opportunities. We've got stage, type of business, when the opportunities are closing. Further down, we have all of our leads, and further down, we have our activities. Now, we were looking before at PEJ. So if I just find that company here, all of the charts in this dashboard change to only show me what's relevant to PEJ. So we can see that it's an energy company, corporate client. We have 5 opportunities across various areas. No leads, which isn't a problem. We have opportunities coming, and all related activities. And we can dig a little deeper here by going into the details tab. And again, you can see more detail of what's going on. So here we have the probability of closing opportunities, which opportunities those are, and the value of those opportunities. In the account section, for example, we've got more information kind of similar to what we were just talking about a moment ago. And I can see here all of the contacts related to the account. And this kind of helps me steer my team and report back to the board or to the board members in an interactive way, and it just makes things more interesting and more easily understood. And this really helps keep the momentum going, keeps us getting opportunities moving and winning business. Now, aside from this, there is a very useful tool, which is the mobile app. Now, this mobile app basically gives you the ability to do anything that you would do on a desktop, but whilst you're on the go. And just to demonstrate, it's not just for your mobile, you can have it for an iPad as well. And all of the functionality that you would expect on your desktop, you can find here. And say, if you're at a conference and you meet someone, you can just quickly hop onto your phone or your tablet and fill in the details, and you're good to go. Now, the really good thing about this as well is that it works in offline mode. So if you are, let's say, in a taxi, you're driving to the airport, and you don't have any connection to Wi-Fi or 4G or whatever, you can fill in the details, and then when you get an internet connection, it will all be updated and uploaded into Salesforce. And this is really useful just to save time, and you don't have to remember things, you can just do things on the go. Now, lastly, in terms of saving time, there's a lot of apps that are available in Salesforce through the App Exchange. And something that's very useful that we found is an app called Vision E, which is a card scanning app. And this also uses AI and will basically read the information from the business card that you've scanned in, and will create leads or contacts and relate all of these records together behind the scenes. This is really helpful because it saves a lot of time for manual input, and also avoids mistakes just through, mistyping or just missing information out. Now, with all of that, I'm going to hand back to my colleague for the next part of the presentation.
Thanks, Axel. That actually concludes our presentation. So if you've got any questions, please do submit them on the Q&A. We have had one, and it's probably one for Dan. Can we only get lead scores for people we have details on? So I think this concerns web traffic that comes to our site, and be able to attribute scores to the people who visit our website.
No, You can get lead stores from anybody. So when somebody first lands on your website, you obviously don't know who they are, but you know that it is somebody. So the system will, if you set it up in that way, basically put a cookie on their browser. You'd have to ensure that it is all GDPR compliant and that it's included in your cookie policy. However, many businesses have been doing this for many years. It then records what they're doing. We don't know who they are. If they then come back in a few weeks or months' time, provided they still have the cookie on their browser, it will automatically assign all of the history to them as soon as we identify who they are. So we can identify who they are if they fill out a form or if they click on a link from our email. So if you have loads of clients who you email, as long as they click on a link and they go through to your website, it's already identified who they are. So if they return, we will then know who they are. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah. So it becomes the job of the marketing specialist to turn traffic into something tangible that we can do something with. So a lot of businesses invest in things like SEO and generating web traffic through posting things on social media and what have you. So it becomes the job of someone like Dan to actually turn that into something tangible that we can then score and pass on to the relevant salesperson. And because we have these scores and we know the activity of what the person's been looking at, we're able to attribute it to the correct salesperson. So in this instance, we know that the lead has looked at the pensions page and downloaded the pensions white paper, and hence we pass it on to Rich as the pension salesperson. Had that person dedicated more time to looking at the trust or the funds page of our website, then we might allocate it to a different salesperson based on what we've learned about them. Whilst we've been answering that, I've seen that no further questions have come in, so I'll just conclude at this point and say thank you all for joining us. If you have any further questions, then please do contact us via the usual channels. We'd be delighted to speak with you further. So thank you once again and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.